Climate change has directly impacted on the conditions of the communities.
It affects our farmers, our producer, because it alters their planting patterns, their practices patterns.
Too much rain is the problem as well for the processing.
We are seeing extreme rainfall events, and at the same time, we are seeing extreme periods in which there's no rain, so drought, as it's called.
Bueno, los cambios de temperatura y la precipitación, que son los dos factores fundamentales dentro del clima para que la producción sea ideal.
The climatic crisis has brought about a threat of global warming, and it affects the ecosystem, the water resources, food security, industrial activities, and even the human growth.
Con la producción de café, la parte media y la parte baja ya no se puede producir café.
So this has a lot of effect. This has multiplier effect, because then what happens is, the farm sector in the village becomes unsustainable and people migrate to the cities.
In terms of adaptation, we actually have no choice.
I mean, it's not a choice to adapt. It is their compulsion that they adapt to the changes.
We responded to this climate change about 30-40 years ago itself, when we made this shift to organic farming.
So we constantly go back to put native species where they've been removed.
Después hemos mejorado también la asistencia técnica para que los productores se acostumbren un poco a convivir con este cambio climático.
They start to have some new system of irrigation, new system of agricultural system.
Podemos tener madera, podemos tener leguminosa, podemos tener maíz, podemos tener coco, podemos tener
nuevas variedades que se adaptan a las nuevas condiciones climáticas.
We try to promote the green products.
Si yo quiero cambio, si yo quiero contrarrestar los impactos negativos al cambio, debo empezar con el tema de reforestación.
Bueno, uno de lo que se ha tratado de incluir es la diversificación.
Then the second way in which we are managing our own environmental impact is by using renewable energy.
We don't use machinery. Our reliance on electricity is very minimal.
En el uso del agua, nosotros estamos para manejar un manejo más eficiente del agua.
Tenemos 3 piletas también de tratamiento natural de los residuos de la fábrica.
And we have worked with sustainable architects to look at how to use materials that has, for example, there is 0% concrete.
So we look at our products being made in a sustainable fashion, as well as in dignity.
One of the principles of fair trade is about respecting the environment.
Made people aware of it, even before all this happened, even before even before Greta Thunberg was born, we were talking of environment, right?
They are encouraging for us to support more eco-friendly production.
This is like inbuilt system, and Jutworks and fair trade will grow together.
Esa es exactamente la acción del comercio justo frente al cambio climático.
El comercio justo para Coproagro es la vida. Es nuestra vida. Es nuestro pulmón, podemos decir.
So I think my message is that even in the midst of a pandemic, all of us should not lose sight of the climate change crisis.
And for the business, we have to have the green business, the green economic. That when you want to do something, it's not only the profit, it's not only the income. You have to think about the resources. We have to think about the raw material. You have to think about the nature.
I feel when you're making policy, to understand smaller ecosystems and how that will contribute to the larger holistic picture.
We need also to put a lot of emphasis to the local people.
Keep in mind whatever actions, policies they make, to keep in mind the small producer.
The more customers you have who are aware, who will walk into and make this change in their purchasing habit, the more changes that you can see at the ground level.
Desde el espacio que nosotros nos encontremos, podemos contribuir a cambiar un poquito el mundo.
Y que continúen apostando por los productos que son de comercio justo, de pequeños productores.
Because they are ethical, they are organic, and they respect the environment.
You want to reduce inequality. And how do you do that? You need to protect the environment, because if you don't, you're simply going to make that inequality problem worse.
This is what you're doing.